Live. I thought I was live. You're live now? Well, that doesn't count. I'm live now and I just sang the song. Well, I guess that was only for Facebook. Hello, welcome to Tea in Space. My name's Tom and this is Space. It's cool today. Overcast. A few dark clouds in the sky. But also I see a little blue. So I got pretty much everything today. Bring a rain jacket. San Andreas is on. Showcase. Might be another movie day. And most likely get out into that park a few more times. Coffee's on. Room 240. Oh, thanks, man. Thanks. Cheers. Jim McGuich. Oh, that's good. Oh, yeah. I wonder if there's a better way of going about things. I think there is. In fact, I'd put my life on it. On the fact that there's a better way of doing things. All that takes is a little communication. Talk with the ones that know a little bit more about certain subjects and or have a heart. Heart. That's the main thing. To have compassion, right? You need both. You need the smarts to do it and the compassion to follow through with it. And please, now that we have the numbers and everything, and the ball is really in our court because there's so many of us. Like, how many? 7 billion of us against 500,000, something like that. Maybe 200,000. So 7.2 billion or 3 billion against 200,000. Now, all that takes is non-violently walking towards a building of some sort, like maybe say like there's a white building in America. Just as you go, just flatten the gates, put them down. Don't ruin them. Just put them down. And make your way closer to the White House. I think that would be the way to go, but I don't know. That's not my deal. I live in Canada. I can't get across the border. But maybe we should take that border down. Maybe that's where I should be heading sometime soon. We should all be heading. Just take that border down little bit by little bit. Like the Berlin Wall coming down when East Germany was separated by West Germany. Remember how good of a thing that was? And then you got a guy in the presidency that wants to build more walls. And you got people that say, yeah, let's build more walls, because that's really... And most of us are thinking, fuck you. More walls. Less freedom, more walls. That's what happens. And then they box you in. You can't get out and you can't get in. It's the way they like it. Those that want control and power. Good morning. Good morning. It's 11:20 a.m. A little bit of a late start. Sunday, June 7th, 2020. And I'm thinking this is probably one of the best sandwiches I've ever had.
Yeah, because the eggs not burnt.
Yeah, that's true.
And I cleaned the cast iron pan of all the black char. That's why it tastes so good. Mr. Cooker?
Ron Hall used to say the same. Ron Hall says the same thing. He tells me to do dishes all the time, and if I think I'm a cooker, I'm not. I know where I stand. I'm just dabbling, dude.
We'll dabble in the clean pot.
No, I think you're right. There's two theories on that cast iron pot though, or pan. I think you're right. The proof's in the pudding. Oh no, Tom's cooking today. He's gonna fucking burn everything.
No, Gord's cooking today, and nothing will get burnt today.
Nothing gets burned today. Gord's cooking. Well, I do dishes then. I gotta get those dishes done.
So my stuff may not be sent because Steven's not on top of it. He gave it to his son to do, and his son's not the most advantageous to him. He's not going to get it done unless Steven gets behind him and says, "Did you send it out? Oh shit, I forgot all about it. I'll get right on it. Next week, fuck off."
That's what.
Steve will come again. Get that shit out of here now. And it will. You'll get done that day. It'll get sent out tomorrow. But he's dealing with a death right now, and that's a big thing for him.
Yeah.
The woman that funded the center, they wrote over $1.5 million in grants and proposals.
Yeah.
So they're set for the next 3 years because of her. And she has taught Steve how to find money where there's no money. That's a gift in its own.
Yeah. It is. You can always find it. But some people are very good at sourcing it out.
Yeah.
And it's a matter of filling out forms too in this government, but you can find it other ways too.
But for substantial foundational money, that's
Yeah.
core. That's what you need. That's what Medicine Wheels needs on, is a chunk of money, like $85,000 in the bank.
Yeah.
Hey, we don't have to worry about anything now. We're good.
Yeah.
Takes care of all their needs. Maybe 4 or 5 writings, and then we're done. That's what I was asking Hazel for. But she never got around to sending me the information to get it done. I was just like, okay, well, whatever.
All in good time. It's raining.
Yeah, man. 40%.
What were we talking about? Let's start from scratch. What's important? Well, right now, community is important. What's community? Well, that's a good question because not many people know what community is. They think they do. We haven't known what community is in a very long time. Community has to stand against the government together. When it doesn't seem reasonable, it doesn't work for your community, then why would you recognize it and why would you blindly follow? Community. City of Penticton, what are you doing? City of Penticton, municipality. What's my municipal government doing to protect us from The RCMP and the federal government.
Hand sanitizer.
Yeah. Well, thanks for the hand sanitizer.
That's it.
Thanks.
Get rid of germs, that's all.
Thanks for all those signs telling us what we can and cannot do in the park. Next time you start shutting down parks, maybe you think twice about that. You know, there's more people living in campers and mobile homes and shit than ever before in our history. Why did they shut down parks? Major parks during this time. Do you know how hard it was for people on a fixed budget or with no budget? You almost got to a point where people weren't accepting cash anymore because there was virus on the cash. Oh yeah? Did you monitor how much fecal matter was on that bill there? There's a lot of other things on that bill too. You're gonna get it. You're gonna get it. Anything you touch. So you got a pandemic, a word to describe a storyline that someone wrote for you to control you, and they did. Most of us. So how fast are we to recover from this, and how fast are we to shake our heads and say, you know what, I was probably wrong on that one. Yeah, it doesn't really make much sense to try to get ahead of a million-plus-year-old virus, getting ahead of that, you know, by testing, because we're so fucking clever and vaccinations and shit. These people need to be eradicated from our society. They need to go away. All these people plugging this messaging, because it's all based in fear, and many of them know that it's a fucking hoax, and they just continue down this path because it makes sense for their particular business or whatever. And it's a shitty way to make money, man. It's a shitty way to be. But these businesses, you know, the businesses that focus on right now, like PPE and ventilators and shit like that, watch out. Shitty businesses. They're basically planning your death. And there's power in it. And they're selling you all sorts of insurance. They're selling you all sorts of things. Chip reverse mortgages. Just to extract any amount of wealth that you might have at the end of life. And then at the end, you're left with nothing. Now you're in a nursing home run by the government or a business entity of some kind. Them trying to make money off of you. The way they do it is turnover. So the faster you die, the quicker the turnover, the more money goes in their pockets, period. Nursing homes, care homes for the elderly. What are we doing? What the fuck are we doing to our elders? Oh, man, unconscionable what we have done as a family unit, as a community to our elders. 2 years ago, two older ladies that lived up down by Skaha here. They lived in a mobile park home. Separate residences. They're clearing these residences out because they're not making enough money or whatever. I don't know what the deal is. But they had nowhere else to go in Penticton because there was nowhere else affordable. So they thought, you know what? Individually, they thought this. They didn't plan it. It was this almost the same week. They committed suicide because they had no place to go. City in Penticton, what the fuck are you doing? I come in, I do with the Jacobite, I believe it was, when his last year was up. And I come into him and I say, you know, can we have a little talk? And he talked with me for about an hour, maybe two. I talked most because he had nothing to say. He had absolutely nothing to say. And, you know, he had a book, a proposal that they've been working on for 4 years, and, you know, what they're going to do with like the homeless and whatever, you know, stems from that. What have you done? Well, we built a lot of cool buildings in town and we passed a lot of stuff. No, fuck, what are you doing for the community? If one of us is suffering, we're all suffering. Don't you know that? You're leading us? You shit. I'm not trying to make enemies here, but I'm saying that some people aren't doing their fucking jobs. So, I'm coming to you live from the city of Penticton, the municipality, the city of Penticton. What are we doing as a community to make sure that we have the leaders in place that are making the decisions that are necessary for us? What happens if the whole world's economy collapses? Where are we without each other? Think about it. How close could it be? But when you have a strong community, you don't worry about things like this. But worry builds, fear builds when you got the few looking after the many, basically just telling them what to fucking do. And expecting that they're going to do it, even though the rules that are in place are, how would I put it? Garbage, just fucking garbage. All rules. We have so many fences in this fucking town. So many signs. How many signs can I count right now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. Well, there's more. 26. Found that one. City doesn't care enough to pick it up. It's here. Not hiding it. But I know there are people out there trying to pin something on me. You're going to be very hard pressed to pin anything on me, friend. And there's more of us. There's more of us, right? So step down. You know, the 6 RCMP officers that beat and tortured me 3 weeks ago, step down, turn in your badges, your guns. RCMP, do your job. Monitor yourself. It's not my fucking job. It's not our job. People are going missing. The indigenous people in my community are the Whipping Boys, plus a few other minority groups. If you care to know who they are, I have firsthand information. Always the best kind of information too, eh? But somehow we've gotten into the habit of relying on second, third, fourth party information, where now we don't even know where it's fucking coming from. So then we believe in pandemics like COVID-19. Sounds cool. COVID-19. Remember that time we survived it, remember? Yeah, it's tough times. Wasn't much of a virus, but the government sure got away with a lot. They sure did. How many people have died? Well, how many people have died and they didn't have to die? This has been going on for years. So centuries. So you think that what Hitler did was bad? You think that his numbers, we let this go on for a long time. Probably in the billions now. Huh? Since then? People trying to get ahead of it. And they get smarter and smarter, and they, more clever at hiding things and manipulating things. Manipulating groups of people and their minds. Mind control. You don't think this exists? Oh, it exists. The repetition over and over again. And they just repeat one or two things over and over again. So it's like COVID-19 or weapons of mass destruction. I don't know. What was the slogan when the Vietnam War was happening? It's the same thing. Shitty wars. Shitty storylines that peddle fear to control the mass population and get them to do whatever you want them to do. Some of these soldiers come back and they think, fuck, what did I fucking do? I was murdering babies. Babies! People at home with their hand on the button, right? Flying these remote control aeroplanes with bombs on them. Dropping them willy-nilly. Oh, I don't know who that is. And then you find out later it's a fucking family. An entire family. Kids, innocent people, all around. And now you're a murderer. You got police officers putting on their weapons at the beginning of the day. I don't know if they're thinking. Most of them aren't thinking, I'm going to go out and beat the shit out of someone, but there are a few of them out there, and they're in Penticton for fucking sure. And they look forward to it. They like administering pain. You can see it in their face. In everything they do, in every move they make, they tell you that they love to see others in pain. So these guys got to go. It's a wonder why in the RCMP with the level of media attention, not mainstream media, but media attention, and the RCMP is not doing anything about it. Doesn't seem like it. They haven't come to me and told me anything. Maybe they are behind the scenes, eh? What can they do? The damage is done, right? All they can do is take a fucking knee. See, anytime that I played any kind of sport or I was in any kind of whatever, if I know I'm done, I take a knee. I take my white flag out and I wave it. I give. It's no longer, obviously you guys got the numbers. Okay, take me. I'm your prisoner. I guess. No, not this time. But the white flag is always being waved. And when you still get beat for waving a white flag or a feather, then those guys got to go. Someone else got a hole-in-one. Free game. Free game at Local Landing. If you're in Penticton and you're wondering, hey, what do you do in Penticton on a Sunday afternoon after church? We go to Local Landing, man. They've got like 5 different activities over there. Why not? And a miniature golf course. And a new, they got a new statue in there of a dinosaur, and it is fucking cool. My town. I hate it and I love it all at the same time. I hate it only because it's rich in apathy and doesn't have really any creative bone. It's very, very shallow. It's the people that are doing it are very, very good, and I can name them off. I could name them off pretty quick. But you can't. We're not meant to be alone. We're not meant to do things alone, and that's what kind of Penticton is a number of people isolating themselves from each other. And so community is not very strong here. Is it, city of Penticton? It's not. So what are you going to do? Is your position up to the challenge, Mayor of Penticton? Who are you? What's your name? What have you done so far? How are you handling all of these things? Are you for the people or are you for the government? Are you for the RCMP, the military police, federal? Say they're provincial, but it's not. It's just they're federal police. RCMP goes right across BC through Alberta, Saskatchewan, Manitoba, Ontario. It's everywhere, in every community in Canada. Except for the Indigenous people. I think that's a smart fucking move. Let's get them out, all of them, out of our cities, out of our towns. They shouldn't be here. That was a good move. That was a really good move. Way back when that was decided that they had no jurisdiction. In some ways, it's the only thing that is holding certain things together. We've given up our power, our own individual power. When we know who we are as individuals, then the collective always wins, because you know then how connected you are to everybody else. But people who don't know themselves can get us, if they're given authority in certain departments, could set us back considerably or hold us back from doing things that we should be doing. So they got to go. In every organization, every entity, in every government. And the fix, pretty easy. All you have to do is put some minds on it, put all your minds on it, because we'll all come up. If you hear a good idea, you're going to know that's it. You're going to hear a few ideas. Okay, what's the best one? Can we combine them? Maybe they're better together, you know? And then you get the best fucking idea. Next problem, solve that. Next. Anyone telling you that you can't make a change or that change will never happen because it's always been this way and it will always be this way? Well, if not you, who? And you can. One thought changes the whole trajectory of whatever's happening in the universe. One single thought is a movement. At least that's what I think. Oh no, there, Tom. I think you're full of shit. There's a case to be made for that. So call me crazy, call me fool, call me an idiot, call me bipolar, depressed, call me George, poopy pants. That's stupid. Call me any name you want. It doesn't matter what I say. It only matters what you do. It only matters what you think. And are you thinking for yourself? Are you allowing your mind to think for you? Are you allowing other people to put things in your mind to think for you? Have you given up on life? You're not done till you're dead. No, I'm retired and I don't do things like that. Hey, fuck off. You got a voice. You want to land up in a fucking home? Is that the plan? You got enough tucked away? You're going to land up in that fucking home, retirement, then they're going to suck all your money out. And then in the end of life, your care is going to be shitty. I don't care how much money you fucking have. Because they're always going to want more. You've put yourself in this position where someone else is caring for you when we should be caring for each other. Because there's value in being old. There's value in experience. There's value in youth. There's value in knowledge. So why are we squandering it? Like, it doesn't even make sense on that level. Like, if you're just thinking purely intellectual, like purely motivated by self, it doesn't make any sense to put your parents in a home at the end of life. First of all, it's financially draining. You're probably going to have to pick up the tab in the end. But meanwhile, if you just got accustomed to actually being with each other, understanding one another, and allowing people to be whoever they are, because they're not going to be you, right? Then we become family and community, and we don't even fucking worry when we die in our fucking beds. That's where we should be dying. Nice long life in our beds in the end, or in the woods, or somewhere other than a hospital, isolated from everyone other than people in masks. That's hell. Are we clear on this? Like, this could be heaven or this could be hell. Where are we? Where are we? Where are you? What do you want? You want heaven or you want hell? Because you can have either or. Yeah, sure, that guy's living in hell. That girl's living in hell, but it doesn't mean that you need to. One bad apple in a bunch. It spoils the whole bunch, huh? I had a good apple today. Wasn't even expecting it. I picked it out of the fridge and it was crispy, tasty. What have we done to our food? Well, we haven't done it. We've allowed other people to do it, to give us less in our food. Half of what it is or should be. Or maybe not even that. Even in our fruits and vegetables, you can taste it. You could see it. The colors aren't as bright. The tastes aren't as, I don't know, what would you say? Distinctive? You'll end up with something that's less than what it was originally. How the earth had conceived it in the first place, but we feel like we can genetically modify anything and make it better. Seedless, whatever. Idiots. I think we, to a large degree, we've become a civilization with certain technologies that we don't deserve because we're fucking idiots. I don't know how to use them. Stupid ape. Smart ape. Who are you? Right? Always comes down to that question. I feel better than yesterday. Yesterday I was feeling a little, my neck was off. It's better today. It was seizing on me. It makes sense. I did go through a trauma just recently, so as much as I think I'm a quick healer, went to the doctor yesterday or a couple days ago. So got that process going, my own personal doctor here in town. Oh, and that reminds me, I got to send them an email. City in Penticton. What are you doing in these times other than making shitty signs for a basketball court that tells us that we can't gather in groups more than 2 when you know all the power is in 3? And you can't enforce them. Why are these fucking signs still up? Take them down. It's not my job. And then I become a criminal when I take it down because I've just defaced property. Maybe I should just take them down and lay them aside. Can I do that? Because they don't apply to us. How many cases of COVID-19 are you aware of in Penticton, British Columbia, Canada? How many people? Do you realize the hospital is empty and then people aren't getting served when they're really hurting? Case in point, I'll point to me. There's other cases, and people die because doctors got stupid. Nurses got stupid and they started believing in something. They started believing that they're the only ones that can fight this because they bought into the COVID-19 storyline that they were at the front lines. And you might have felt like you were at the front lines. You might have bought it and believed it, but it was the fear that kept you at the front lines of a battle that didn't exist. Do you know what a virus is? Has that ever occurred to anybody that viruses happen for a reason? And that maybe we need certain viruses to come down our way so that it makes us stronger? The fact that our bodies are always fighting these things off makes us stronger. You know that theory? It's not a theory, it's fact. Isn't it? Ain't that science? What does science say? Well, who cares what science says? What is it? But you have a lot of entitled people out there with money, and some of them are sick. Some of them are at the end of life, and they're holding on, and they're scared. They're scared of losing what they think they have, that security. Everybody should have security. They shouldn't be the only ones, right? So that's where they're going wrong. If everybody had security, if everybody had what they needed, food, clothing, shelter, free energy, access to all the tools that are necessary to progress in this life, in this time, free. If we all had those things, we would have more than we had to begin with. Some of you maybe not, because you thought you owned countries, but okay, well, that was unreasonable, right? Because you can't own land. Give your head a shake. How does the royal family own land in Canada? Is that who owns it? The federal land? Is it the people's land? Who are the people? Hey, let's say we take down that border and someone comes over into the Okanagan here from the other side where the border was. Does that mean they can't live here on that land beyond the second fence? You know, that big gnarly one? There's lots of land out there. It's beautiful. Who gets that? I think we'll just take it. Thanks. There's plenty of it, so we're not going to even make a dent. You want land to live in? Sure. You want to be my neighbor? Fantastic. I would love that. Why wouldn't I? I'm not building a fence, just so you know. No more fences. Unless I got to keep chickens in. You know? Unless I'm building a chicken coop. But even then, who knows? I don't know. Is it possible to do it without? Probably. There's all sorts of ways that you can live this life and provide for yourself. Because the earth provides for you. It's just a matter of, like, what do you want to do? What do you want to focus on? So I don't see the city of Penticton doing too much in that regard. The jobs are getting shittier and shittier, and they pay less and less. So now it's not even worthwhile even taking on a job, you know, for most people. Or if they do, they're just fighting an uphill battle that they can never win because the deck is stacked against them in the jobs that they're in. Because they're just jobs. They're not work that you can feel proud of at the end of the day. It's just tiring work. Keep you busy. Busy work. Doing the same thing over and over again, and then your mind shrivels up into a raisin. And now you can only do one thing. Push a button. Do a certain task. So again, I asked the city of Penticton what they're doing. I haven't received any messages from anybody, any official, any chief of police or doctor or, you know, lawyer. I must have been charged with something. You would think after getting beat like that. And then, lest we forget, they chased me up into that mountain over there, right by Highway 97 after having a heart attack, and they knew that. So they wanted me dead. Who are those people? And they still have uniforms, and they're still out there. Not many of them down this end of town anymore, though. That's interesting. Smart move. You've already done your damage. COVID-19 gave you a lot of fucking weapons. A lot of permission to act out what's in your fucking heart, I guess. Has your heart gone black? Some of you it has. Hey, Matt, are we equals? Matt. Our CMP officer that drove me to the prison that day. after being beaten and tortured in the park. What'd you think of that show? It was a good show, huh? What did I do? Well, you didn't do anything. You didn't say that. I asked him if he was my equal, though. I think he sheepishly said yes. From my recollection, now I'm putting it together. But I'm in the back of this car. And I was choking on my blood, and I got a bag over my head. And I almost choked, and it seems like you wanted me to choke. Are we equals? You stepped on my handcuffs really, really fucking hard. Are we equals? You put my left arm up there into superposition, and I gave you... I went limp, completely limp, to allow you to put the handcuffs on, and you decided to torture me instead. Yeah. Remember all this, right? I remember it very, very clearly, like it was 3 weeks ago. And you put me in one of your cages. Bloody mess. What, you think I'm going to beg for my life? Went down on my hands and knees to get those cuffs off, and you still rammed me down on the fucking floor and choked me with my own tie. With my own string that was in my shirt. You yanked so hard on that you made my neck pop up, didn't you? That's on camera. Where's the video footage of all this? I was in that cell for at least 10, 12 hours. I made quite a ruckus in there, didn't I? I had a lot to say. Why wasn't anybody talking to me then? The burden of proof is on you, right? What did I do? Who was I representing? You know exactly who I represent. You know exactly who I represent. And you kicked the shit out of me. You beat me on sacred land, and you've killed, and you've beaten and tortured other people previous, and you continue to do it to this day, and it's got to stop. These guys gots to go. 6 RCMP officers that day. 2 bylaw officers looking on. They should have been taping it, because they were taping it when I had my voice raised, eh? But they didn't tape the before, and they didn't tape the after. Why? Why? Right? Because they know they're in the wrong. If I had a phone, I would have been taping the whole thing. But I was sitting in the park. I didn't need my phone or my ID or any money. I was just hanging out in the park across the street from my house. It's fancy night in So we got 55 minutes, 55 seconds. The bikes are back. They're lovely. Look at them. Beautiful bikes. A little on the loud side for me, but there are certain things that I don't concern myself with. But violence in my town, I do. Violence for any reason. Because violence never gets you anywhere. And the RCMP is one violent entity that has been violent for a long time, and no one's been overseeing it. And we've all been too ignorant and too swept up in our own existences to understand that even though maybe it doesn't affect us now, it will. You might find yourself on the highway after a heart attack running away from the RCMP looking for a hospital. and thinking that they're going to kill you. And that's legitimate. And I have witnesses. 57 minutes, 16 seconds. It's 12:05 p.m. Trying to search for that one last nugget. Clem had a daydream from heaven. Picked up the headline, his country was made up of singers. Day-day-day-dum, day-day-do. Look good, look fine, look fine. I nearly lost my mind that day. And it's debatable whether I've regained it. But in matters like this, only the truth matters. And the truth can be summed up really, really quick. So in this moment, in this time, RCMP, Royal Canadian Military Police, Mounted Police, however you want to refer to them as, they get trained in Regina. They're federally trained, they're military trained. RCMP should not be in our towns and cities. Period. Communities should be policing themselves. It's a good place to end off. And violence never works. It only transitions into more of the same. And forgiveness is necessary, but forgiveness does not mean that certain people don't need to step down and or relinquish everything that they have and strip them of everything that they have, and we send them away. That's fair. That's actually fair. All right, well, enjoy your Sunday. It's noon. Some of you it's time for lunch. Some of you it's time for bed. Some are just getting up. Welcome to Tea in Space, where time does not exist and we're all friends. Community. Global community.